Hi, it's Jess here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thanks for joining me today. So I'm going to bring you a card today using all of the in colours. So I'm going to use every single one of these beautiful colours. I absolutely love them. I even like the pink, which is very not me. Excuse me. And I don't mind the papaya, which is a little bit yellowy orange. Hang on. Oh, suddenly my mouth went completely dry then. Yeah, so those wouldn't ordinarily be colours I like, but I love them because I think they just go so well. All of these colours together go really, really well. I love the 2 shades of green. Great for Christmas. I'm looking forward to that. Beautiful shade there. And they just all blend together. So I've used them all in this card. This is my sort of prototype card that I was trying out. And I really liked it, and it's for a blog hop, a craft challenge blog hop, which was to use the new in colours. I don't think we had to use them all in one project, but I just decided I would. So the set I'm using is the Flowers of Friendship, which is stamp set with a punch. So it was a no-brainer. I was getting that because that's my favourite combo, punches and stamp sets together. I much prefer them to a die set, even though I think dies are beautiful. It was punches and matching dies that made me love Stampin' Up, as well as the colour coordination, of course. And I love that we've got little flowers now that we can punch out. Again, I've missed that. And I love the mixture of the fonts here. I just think they're lovely. So we're going to use this lovely row of flowers here. So I've used that in the background. This sprig of flowers there. We're going to use the leaves, and we're going to use the thank you for, oh no, little card, big thanks. I got a feeling I've mounted the wrong one. Yeah, I have. So we'll change that. I wanted little card, big thanks. So yeah, let's get on with it. Okay, so I've got the things ready. So I've used the stitched rectangles, and if you're counting them down from the outside, it's the 3rd and 4th ones that I have used. So oh, that just came off there. Oh well. So that I've cut that quite a tight fit, but that I'm going to just trim that off now. Actually, it's too tight fit. We'll go in that way. And then we've got that to do the punching. So I'm going to cut it down here. So we're all good. Just realised I haven't brought my punch for that. For everything else with me, but not that. Right, so I'll put that to one side, and let's get our stamping ready. So we're going to stamp this image in the middle of here so that we can cut it out. So I'm going to stamp it in Evening Evergreen. So make sure I get it all stamped up. Super. Just seeing if I'm in. Yeah, I am. So planting that in the middle. Super. I've got my Stamp and Scrub ready because I'm going to have to do quite a bit of cleaning in between for different things. And then on this little one, I'm going to do the leaves in Soft Succulent. And we've got 3 little ones and a big one. So just checking which way I want it to go. So I want it to go, if I'm feeding it, I've got to think about this now. I want to feed it in like that, so we want it to go down like that, so that I can feed it in to punch out, and I'm not causing obstruction particularly with anybody else. So that's the big one, and then the little one we're going to poke up from there, so we want it to be coming down the ways. And we will just pop that away. Not done this very well. It would have been better off coming down that way. We'll do it the other way. So we'll have them coming up. Didn't think that one through too well. It's probably easier to do them one at a time. Let's have that one coming up there. Just enough room in there. Just wanted to give a little bit of dimension to the card. So that's our leaves. And you could, I didn't do it on the other one, but we could take a little bit of Nigezza and add a bit of colour. A little colour and sparkle to the leaves. Quite like that. I think that's a good idea. So you're using your Nigezza like a bit of a watercolour brush. Okay, just brush that off because I'm going to do the same thing for the flower, I think. Now I've had that idea. So, maybe not left enough on that scrap, so we'll grab a bit more. We're going to do the flower now. So, I'm going to leave these up there. Gonna use fresh freesia. So because I want let's put that on there so they're ready to cut out, and then I'm gonna do it twice. Because I'm going to cut out the middle the middle petals as well. So we'll just give this all a clean. So we need to fussy cut these flowers out. And I've got my glasses on the top of the egg, and it wasn't that hard to cut them out. So that's ready for on there, and then I just cut out the middle petal to add some dimension to the flower. So that will go on top, and I think, like I did before, I think I'm going to use my Wing Castella to colour those in. So that's all ready to go on the flower there. So I'll get the other two flowers ready. So they're all ready now to be put on at the appropriate time. So we'll move that off. So that requires die cutting. And then we've got our other little strip that requires die cutting, which I can't actually see right now. So and that's the other bit that we want to die cut. But I want to do some ink blending on this before I die cut it. And we want ink blending on this bit before we punch it out. So I'm just going to bring in another bit of graph mat there so that I can go over. It doesn't matter. So I've got my blending brushes. So that one in the yellow, but the papaya. So I'm gonna just do some blending at the end with the papaya. Oh, managed to get my finger in it. I don't think that bit will matter. That's going around the end there, and we're going to go around the end there as well for there we go. So that's the papaya done, and then I'm going for a fresh freesia. Make sure the colour's out of that one, and I'm gonna just go to the other side of this, changing the colour up a little bit on this card, whereas I had a bit more, the polished pink was the sort of dominant colour. I'm changing it to fresh freesia on this one. There we go, might have a little bit darker. And then coming in the end. And then we'll just have the pink going across the middle. So this is exactly the same as the way I did it before. I'm ignoring the fact that there's a splodge, because that's not going to get seen. It's going to get stuck on top. I might cut this one out as a frame. In the other one I just put it straight on top, but this one I might do a frame. Just give it a little bit of a different look. So beautiful soft pastels. Very unusual for me to like these colours, but I do. Just think they're lovely. Make me smile. Makes me smile looking at them. And we all need smiles. I was going to say especially now, but like any time really. So now I'm going to go across the centre in the polished pink. And they just blend in so lovely together. So I think that will do nicely. So that is going to be cut out, and I think what I will do is actually double cut so that we've got an actual frame, and then I've got that middle bit for something else, and I'd have to make sure that I put whatever I do with it, I cover that up. This is going to be punched, so that's going to be the background for the sentiment. And we may as well, whilst we've got our inks out, stamp our sentiment. So I'm going to stamp that in fresh freesia as well. I think that's just big enough. Yeah. I like to make the use of all my scraps, so that is on there like that for my sentiment. So I'm going to get the die cutting done, and then we'll put it all together. So that's all of the pieces cut out, so I can use that for something else as long as I cover that up, which wouldn't necessarily be hard depending on how I use it. So now I need to do the background stamping on the card before we stick this on. So I'm using the long flower for this. I'm going to bring in the Stamp & Scrub, wet dry. Got my 3 colours. And what I did was I inked it up and just stamped it. I kind of went round about the middle of the card like that, and then went over, kind of lined up my flowers on the in-between bit, so it went over. And then I came back again and lined it up like that, and I just continued to do that until the whole card was covered. Not bothered that it's not perfect. Just continuing up like that, and I just thought it gave it a nice background. I actually started with this. This was me playing. I thought, oh, I wonder what this looks like as a background, and so I just stamped all the way up the card with this first off, and then thought, right, I can put a topper on. And this is what I ended up with. I actually made this ages ago as a prototype for a Facebook Live that I was doing with Jill. And at the time, Jill said, that's the only set I've got. And I said, oh, well, we can't both use the same set in our live. So I'll save it for, I said, I can save it for a blog hop I'm doing later on, where I've got to use the in colours. It's absolutely fine. And that's when I made my calendar. I'm sure I would have made anyway at some point, but there we go. I looked at it and I went, oh, there's that space down there, and what can I do with that? So I just decided to chop it off. Actually, I thought I'll chop it off, and we can do some blending on the inside of the card. I was going to cut it off with like a nice border die, and then I just went, nah, just cut it off. So that is cutting off half an inch there. That's come off. I shall put that in my little stock that I have of strips like that for doing sentiments. And then I'm going to bring in my scrap paper, and we're going to do some more ink blending. We used the polished pink last time, and we're going for fresh freesia this time. Just inking in. So we've got a nice little effect there going on. Down the side of the card, just to add a little bit of interest. So I want to make sure that I get that darkness at the edges. Want a bit of darkness on the bottom edge as well. So I think that's quite pretty. Quite a pretty little effect there that we're getting. So now we just need to glue on the topper. So I'm going to glue this one on first before I put the frame over. So check where I want it. About there. So just in that flower and that flower kind of fits between the two outside flowers. Like so. We've got our sentiment that I will stick together, and then that will get stuck up on dimensionals. Do I want it that way or that way? I think we go that way, as if that colour is coming from there, which is kind of how I did it before, so we will stick with that. Right, let's get these bits stuck on before we do anything else. So I'm going to use my bone folder, give them a little bit of a curl, and we're just going to glue the flat end down. So that's them all done. So all we have left to do now is pop these up on dimensionals. So we want to be just on that side. That's it with the petals coloured in, that's it with the petals not coloured in, and that's it with the double with actual cut out the frame, and that's it not. So hope you like that. All details will be over on nigezza.co.uk. I'll link down below, and I'll also link to the original blog hop as well, so you can see what everybody else has made with the in colours. Okay, see you again soon. Bye.